So are you saying that ultimately it should always be parents? I mean, where do you stand in this idea that parents would overrule?
I think it's very difficult, but I think as a parent, I've got 3 children, you don't own your children. You are here to give them the very best start in life and to give them every opportunity you have. But there's also as a mother, there's also my own needs, my own desire to hold my child, to be with my child. But that's different to what's best for the child.
But I can understand if those parents, if the doctors here are saying, look, there's nothing else we can do, but if somebody has offered them any glimmer of hope and they've now raised enough money, as a parent, you not think, like Nick said, if you don't take that opportunity or that chance, and it is just a chance or a wish, would you always be thinking, I wonder if we had have taken him, maybe by some miracle?
Don't you think we're getting this all wrong? There's a case being in the court today about someone who's got motor neurone disease who's asking for the right to terminate their life. We have a situation where I could be riddled with cancer and I can present a perfectly cogent argument that I want to end my life. Please, I have not got any... No, you're not allowed to.
That's entirely different, though.
No, but it's the way we deal with lives.
No, but this little boy is being kept alive by a ventilator. If the ventilator is removed and he continued to live, fantastic. But that's not going to happen.
But we don't allow people to end their lives who cogently put their arguments forward. I have zero quality of life. And we don't allow this family to try and prolong life. Well, I think in some instances the courts... Well, coming back to your point, I think the courts and the doctors have too much power, the question you asked at the start.
But I think there's also a whole other issue about our attitudes towards life and death and the fact that we haven't, as a society, kind of worked out why we can't quite yet deal with death.
Yeah, and medical advances, obviously. These questions are going to come up more often.
All the time.
It is just a heartbreaking situation for everybody concerned.
You know, particularly Connie and Chris, who we have to remember, because whatever happens to little Charlie, they've got to live with the consequence of all that. And, you know, they've put their necks on the line for this one. They've become so prominent with all of this.
They've done everything, and it's remarkable and fantastic what they've done.
But at the end of the day, you would say that the state has the right to rule, or are those people who are more professionally suited for that?
It's not really the state. It's an objective person who's looked at all the evidence. It's a person who's looked at all the evidence, and is on that basis, what is the best fit for the child?
I think Nick's wincing here because it could well be the state.
It is the state. It is the state. It's a judge. It is the state.
And there must be pressure about opening the floodgates here.
Yeah.
Well, we've had lots of comments already about this. Maria says, I don't think the court should decide at all. Having a son myself, I'd do anything to make sure that
but where that argument doesn't stand up, and I agree with Alison, who's going to say, oh no, vote against their child? Everybody's going to say do the right thing. It's like, if I go onto social media today, I will have 15 or 20 cases of saying, please retweet for my sick child today.
But Mum says she knows this is the last opportunity. So if this doesn't work... it's horrible, it's a human life, but that is the end.
But the concern, I think, if you actually look at the details in this case, there isn't really an opportunity there, in that even the guy in America doesn't really seem to hold out much hope.
And also there was some concern that it could cause the baby Charlie some distress or pain by moving
as I said,
him.
I wouldn't like to be the judge. I wouldn't like to be the doctor.
I'm sure
I wouldn't like to be the parents.
No, absolutely.
Tough decision.
Our hearts go out to them, it really is.